Okay, I'm going to give a little walkthrough on how to actually install the software for reef-pi. I just want to kind of walk through start to finish just for the software, not any of the builds or anything. First off, let's read the documentation for it. If we go to the documentation, there's actually, it's pretty good. There are some things it's missing though. So well, it's only missing if you're new to do-it-yourself type things. So first thing we're going to do is prepare our Raspberry Pi image. Okay, so for that we're going to go to that website and we're going to go to the downloads page. We're going to go to Raspbian and I'm going to get the headless version right here. So I've already downloaded it, but you're going to download the zip when you do that to get that. Alright, so once you have that downloaded, we're going to write it to an SD card. So Raspberry Pi recommends that we use a program called Etcher. So I have Etcher. So I'm going to grab that. Let's see, there it is. I'm going to select my image that I've downloaded, which was this one. I'm going to open that. It's already selected my SD card, which is in my computer, my micro SD card. Okay, and I'm going to flash it. Okay, so this is going to take some time, but I'm going to pause the video, and once it's done flashing, we'll go from there. Okay, so it finished, and I get this little error message that says, hey, you need to format this drive. Hit cancel. It just has to do with Microsoft, Windows trying to recognize this new partition, and anyway, just hit cancel. So we've got that, and so we can close Etcher now. And if we look on our computer, we should be able to see it. And I don't see it. Wonderful. Let's see. Actually, I think this is what I do. So I'm taking it out, putting it back in. There it is. Okay, so hit cancel again. So here's my boot drive. Alright, so this is where we're going to have to put some of our configuration files so we can actually access it in headless mode. So there are two files we have to do. One of them is just create a new file that it has nothing in it. So what I would do is you just do new, hold on, let me get this so you can see it. I would just do something like new, and then you're just going to go to text document, and when you create it, make sure that you can view your file name extensions, and you want to make sure that it has no .txt extension or anything, and it's just called SSH with nothing inside of it. Okay, so we're going to put that in, I think we just put it straight in here. So let me do that. Boom. And then, so then you're going to create this file that's called a wpa-supplicant.conf. And this is what it looks like. So this is to tell the Raspberry Pi how to connect to the network when you're operating in headless mode, because you obviously can't go in and do it. And I'm using a Pi 0, which has Wi-Fi built in. The same applies for a Pi 2 when you have a USB dongle. All right, so it looks like this, and it's called wpa-supplicant.conf. And actually, let me just put that somewhere just in case I have to end up redoing this video, which I probably will. So this is my actual one that's got my password and everything in it. Okay, so let me go drop that in there. Okay, so now that we have those two files in there, I believe it is time to eject and put them into our Raspberry Pi and start it up. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll go from there. Cool. All right. So it's in, and now we are going to try and remote into our Raspberry Pi. So I have a Raspberry Pi 0, and I'm using an SSH client called PuTTY. This is another thing that, the Raspberry, what are they called, Foundation, or whatever, Raspberry Pi Foundation suggests that we use, and I like it. It's all right. So we're gonna go do that, and when you open it up, it'll look like this. Okay, I found the IP address by going to my router and going to its DHCP client list. Every router is different, so I'm not going to show how to do that. But I found that the IP of my Raspberry Pi is 192.168.2.7. Okay, and then I'm going to open. And the very first time you do this, it might have this warning sign that comes up that talks about some, certificate or something. Just hit OK, and that basically helps you, from my understanding, helps authenticate, helps with the handshake between you and the Raspberry Pi, essentially. Okay, so it should be the default credential. So Pi with a password of Raspberry, RASPBERRY. And look at that, we're in. Okay, so keep on going on this tutorial. So we've downloaded the image, we've connected to our Raspberry Pi, and we are on the Wi-Fi, and now we need to do a system update. So let's do that. So sudo, but you can say it either way. So we're going to, and that just means do it as a super user. So do it as an administrator, essentially. So I'm going to do sudo apt get update -y. Okay. So this is going to download our updates that we have since this package was made. I think I actually have a fairly new version of Raspbian, so it shouldn't be very large, but we'll see. And then once you hit upgrade, I believe it'll actually install it. Okay, so we'll wait for that to get done. And I'm not going to change the password for this tutorial's sake. So I'm going to skip this part, but once this is done, I'm going to do the sudo apt-get upgrade, and here's a nifty little thing. So when you copy it and you go back here, once it's done, I think right-clicking will put it in what you have on your clipboard for PuTTY. So we'll just wait for this to finish, and then we'll go from there. All right, so once it's done, you should get back to this command line. Mine's green. So then I'm gonna right click and look at paste. Pretty cool. Okay, so sudo apt-get upgrade y and hit enter. And so this is going to be kind of the same deal, just wait for it to finish and we'll go from there. Okay, so that finished. Once we're done with that, we need to enable I2C one wire SPI UART. So we're going to have to do the boot config.txt and we're going to have to change that file. We're also going to have to reboot this system once we're done. So the command that so if you want to see like the file system, you just hit ls, enter. Actually, we got to be in a directory, don't we? So let's do cd / I think boot is one, and then we'll do ls to see what's in there. And we are looking for config.txt, and there's a config.txt. So we're going to use a built-in text editor that Linux has, and it's called Nano. So we're going to do sudo so we can access it as an administrator, and then we'll do nano to get to the text editor, and we'll do this config dot, and we hit tab, it should auto finish, and enter. Okay, so now we're here. We're going to use these, let me make sure. Yeah, so we're going to use the arrow keys, and we're going to, let's see, we're going to do the DT param, looks like 3 of those, and then we're going to have the UART and a DT overlay. So if we go down, let's see. Here they are. So DT param I2C arm on DT param SPI on audio. So I2C SPI audio. So that means we're gonna take the comment off of that one. That says, is it I2S? Nope. Not that one then. And we're going to do SPI. All right. And let's see if the other ones are already on here. DT overlay. Yeah, so it looks like the other ones aren't on here. So we're going to have to add them. So we've done 2. We've done SPI and the I2C arm. So now let's add the other ones. DT param audio. So audio is already enabled, it looks like, at the very bottom. So then we just need to enable UART. So I'm going to do that at the bottom. And I'm going to say enable underscore UART equals 1 and DT overlay equals W1 dash GPIO. Okay, and to save, we're going to do Control X. We're going to save it by hitting Y. We're going to keep the same name, so we're just going to hit Enter. Okay. And when it says configure SSH to be used remotely, to remotely control and troubleshoot the Pi, I believe we've already done this because we're using it right now. So we need to set the time and date configuration to use the network time. All right, so let's do that. So sudo systemcl. You know what? I need to use our smart way of doing it. Let's copy that, paste, enter, copy that, paste, enter, copy, paste, enter. All right, so oh yeah. All right, so my geographic region is US. I am in, I believe, the Mountain Time Zone. There we go. Okay. Now, let us reboot. So I'm going to do a sudo reboot. So when you reboot, you're going to lose the connection. So you're just going to have to re-putty back in. So I'm going to do that real quick. And once it's ready, once I'm back up, we will continue. Lost connection. All right. So it's been a minute. My Raspberry Pi is back up. Login as Pi with my password. And I'm in. Okay. So let us install reef-pi finally. So once it's running, navigate to reef-pi, find the latest release, and we want to install the latest release. Okay, so here's the reef-pi. It looks like the latest release is 1.1, released 9 days ago, and I'm using a Pi 0, so right there, Pi 0. I'm not using a Pi 3, I'm using a Pi 0, and it's 1.1. So that means that I'm going to grab this, copy this, actually, okay, copy this, go to my Pi, paste it in, and I'm going to change this from 1.0 to 1.1. And I believe let me make sure that's the right. Yeah, so I'm going to have to change it here as well. 1.1. Okay. Okay. So we're going to download that. And then once it's downloaded, we're going to install it. So I have run into issues in the past where it'll get like 80% done and then it'll take forever. But it looks like I did not. Oh, did I? I did exactly what I said not to do. All right, let's do this. Let's copy it for the Raspberry Pi 0. Okay. And okay, so once that's done, we're going to grab this. We're going to paste it in here, and we're going to change this to 1.1, change that to a 0, and hit enter. So that's going to install what we just copied. Then once that's done, we're going to see if it's working. All right. So that's going to be this. Copy, paste, enter. Says it's running. So in theory, we should be able to go to this. So I said, let me grab its tab here so we can see. All right, so it's going to be 192.168.2.7, and it's going to be port 80. And if everything is done right, we should be able to log in. And look at that, we can log in. So if we go in here, it says at the bottom, the default login and username is reef-pi. Okay, so copy, paste, sign in, not now, and we're there. All right, so that is how you get the software up and running. After that, everything's about building your enclosures, doing the electronics, making sure you have your timing right. So that's about as technical as it's going to get for software, if that's as technical as you want to. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this made it a little bit easier for you guys. I'm just gonna close my session with my Pi and let it run. So it's running. I don't have to worry about it. And yeah, thanks for watching.